Hi guys, my name is Annabelle from Horizon Cosplay, and today we're going to talk about how I started my cosplay business and how it's going so far. Spoilers, not very well. So firstly, I really wanted to make these videos documenting my own cosplay business journey so that other people who are maybe looking to do the same thing as me can see how it goes at the beginning, see my experiences, hopefully learn from them, not make the same mistakes I did, and also for myself so that hopefully in a few years' time when I'm doing this and earning my living doing something I love, I can look back at where I started and just be really proud. Fingers crossed. Also, quick disclaimer, this is just how I'm doing things. This is not a tutorial, this is not a how-to, this is what I've done, this is what's gone right, this is what's gone wrong, and at the end of the day there's a lot of ways to get started in the cosplay business world, and you don't have to follow a set formula for all that. Also, if you do things differently than what I'm showing here, please drop me a comment and let me know what you're doing and how it's going, because I'm always looking for tips for myself, and it'd be nice to share your tips with other people in the future. So let's start off with talking about a few analytics. Now, I know analytics are a relatively boring subject, and I agree. I'm also probably not the best person to talk about them because I've only just started with this kind of stuff, and so improving them and such isn't really my hot point right now, but I'm going to tell you what I've got at the moment and look at some goals for the future. So upon filming this video, it is the 2nd of October, and I had to put out all my historic Halloween videos first, which is why this one isn't coming out till like November, but I'll do maybe an October one if things get interesting next month, and we'll see how we go. So I have got at the moment 24 subscribers on YouTube, 91 followers on Instagram, 2 sales on Etsy, and we're not even going to go into Facebook and Pinterest because quite honestly I'm still trying to figure those out. First things first, to start a business there was a few legal things I had to do. Firstly was registering the business. I'm in the UK, and out of the options I had over here I decided to register it as a sole trader or self-employed business. The next thing I had to do was making sure I knew what my tax rate was going to be. It's 20% or about 20% in the UK, and what I've done is set up a separate bank account outside of my normal bank account to put some savings in, which will be the 20% tax that I may have to pay the government at the end of the year. Now in the UK, I believe that there is a rule, I may be wrong, but I'm 90% sure about this, that I do not have to declare under $1,000 profit. So I'm going to put that 20% into my savings account, and if by the end of the year I have not made $1,000 profit, I will just take it as savings and reinvest it into the business this time next year. And if you're planning on doing any in-person things like cons or markets, insurance is something that you really want to have. I have got some business insurance lined up for when I do start doing markets, however I don't have it right now, and that is simply because due to the lack of markets I'm not doing anything at the moment, and other insurances cover my business at the moment. For instance, my house insurance covers all my sewing machines, 3D printers, all that kind of equipment, and postage insurance will cover the things that I sell and send by post. And once all 3 of these were done, I was technically in business. Yay me! For my next step I had a few choices. My main aim was to sell 3D printed cosplay accessories to begin with. There's a few other plans in the future, but we'll go into them later on. The question was whether I set up my own website to sell these or whether I use a pre-existing website. And by pre-existing website, I'm thinking like a marketplace that's already set up where people can find me on search engines. In the end, I decided to go with the website Etsy simply because, well, a couple reasons. There was already a good cosplay community on there. It's easy to set up shop and already has its own traffic. People who search Etsy can find my stuff without me having to do too much. And lastly, it requires a lot less immediate investment than it would if I set up my own online shop. If you guys do want to see my Etsy shop, check out the link in the description down below. Even just taking a look really does help me out. Another thing that I really liked about Etsy was listing an item on there was very similar to putting up a YouTube video or an Instagram post. There's a real algorithm to it, and if you can figure out how to play that algorithm a little bit, you'll find your listings either do better or worse. Now, a lot of people dislike it, but I actually find it reassuring. Yes, I may never find the ultimate answer to the Etsy algorithm. I'll probably never find the ultimate answer to the YouTube algorithm either, but you know what? It's fun to try. It also means that I can run some experiments to see how my different products do, how different types of listings perform versus others, keyword searches and all the rest of it, and so far it may not have been profitable, but it has been very interesting. When it came to listing my 3D prints, one thing to note is that I don't actually own a light box, so when taking photos of them, I just waited for a really sunny day, took them out into the garden with a black and a white bed sheet, and then took some photos of them with my normal camera. These actually came out better than expected. You can see some shadows in a few of the photos, but the majority of them I find look relatively professional, and I was really pleased with the result. Now, the original plan with the 3D prints was simply to sell small cosplay accessories. However, after doing some research, seeing what different people were into, I ended up changing that a little bit and focus more on the Disney castle miniatures or other castle miniatures. My first sale was actually a Hogwarts castle, my second one was a Cinderella. Hopefully we'll get a third one after this video and we'll be able to say what that is later on. Now to some of the experiments I ran on Etsy. When I first listed on Etsy, I priced them and then I added postage on top. Now what I found is that this just didn't work. After waiting for 2 weeks, I decided to play my hand a little bit. I not only reduced the price of each item by quite a bit, but I also put postage included, and I saw an immediate result. Within 24 hours, the views on my shop had nearly tripled, and most of my items for sale, though no one had brought them, were now on people's favourites list, which is definitely a step up from where they were before. This did, however, mean that my profit margin was halved, but I'd rather have a small profit margin and actually be getting sales than a large profit margin and not earning anything. Hi Sherlock. Good boy. The one thing I will admit with this is that I feel like I've done the maths on this slightly wrong. After I got my first order, I paid for postage. It was just so much more expensive than I initially expected it to be, which is fine. However, because of this, I think I might need to change the prices on my shop again. That might happen in a week or so once I've done a little bit more maths and maybe had a few more orders to figure out what's really going on and where exactly I need to change. My other listings, as you can see, are t-shirts and hoodies. In a moment of why the hell not, I spent a couple hours designing a really nice cosplay t-shirt with the Horizon Cosplay logo on, mostly because I wanted to wear it myself in YouTube videos. However, I had so much fun with this, I ended up coming up with about 30 t-shirt designs, and I picked the best 6 and then listed them on the Etsy shop. After some research, I chose to get my t-shirts printed through Printify. It was really easy to upload and add the design and pick where I wanted these t-shirts to be produced. However, I will tell you now that compared to my 3D prints, these t-shirts do incredibly badly. People rarely see them and they don't really seem to come up in search, even when I try searching them myself on Etsy. But you know what? That's okay. If after a year I haven't sold any t-shirts or hoodies, I probably will take them off the shop, but for now they're not costing me anything more to leave up there and I'm happy with that. In all fairness, these were really easy products to place in the shop. It requires nothing more than a 20p investment from me when I put the listing up, and if they do sell, I do make between £5 and £8 on each one. Considering most of the t-shirts are for sale at between £15 and £25, this is actually probably not the best profit margin, but considering that these orders are ones that I don't have to fulfill myself, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And if nothing else, I felt it was definitely something that was worth trying. And my ultimate failure, one thing I 110% did not count for at all in the current plague-ridden world, is the fact that there are no markets or cons this year. A big part of my plan initially was to have actual physical market stalls. I wanted to go around local craft markets and various other fairs in my local area to try and build up a little bit more of a local cosplay community. The other thing I really wanted to do was an artist alley stall and a Christmas market before the end of the year, but I don't think either of those are going to happen. And it's just because none of them are running, which is seriously frustrating, because I've been trying to book places at craft fairs, market stalls, Christmas markets, conventions for the last couple months, and all of them are just getting cancelled left, right and centre, which is incredibly frustrating. With all the rules that the government has put in place and restrictions on how many people can be indoors at a time and who can meet up with who and all the rest of it, it's just not something that's happening at the moment, which is great. I'm glad that we're taking these precautions. However, it's not something that I accounted for when I initially came up with my plan to start a business. Even our local farmers market isn't running, though I don't really think it's a great idea for me to put my 3D prints in between the fruit and veg and the very nice pie stall. Probably wouldn't sell anything there either. I just feel that the best way for small businesses to be sustainable in the long run is to have a physical human interaction with customers. Personally, I think I'm far more likely to buy a product when I can see and maybe touch it than I am just clicking a button online. I have more faith in what I'm buying if I can see it in front of me than if I'm just looking at a picture. Has this all been a cold dose of reality to my dreams? No, I actually expected most of this. No one makes a success overnight. But my plans for this business in the future are relatively big. I have a lot of long-term goals for my business, but for now let's look more towards the shorter-term ones. Firstly is that I want to design some of my own cosplay fabric. This is something that is currently in the works, but I don't really feel ready to share it with anyone at the moment, but it's something that maybe you should subscribe and hang around for if you're interested in either learning how to do it or seeing how mine come out. The other really short-term goal that I want to do is run a giveaway for my 3D prints. Well, technically I want to run 2 giveaways. One when we reach 100 followers on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram already, make sure you go over and hit that follow button, because we do only have 9 more to go before that happens. And one when we reach 100 subscribers on YouTube. That one might be a ways off unless some miracle happens in the next month before I post this video. But look guys, the truth is running a cosplay business or being a pro cosplayer is just hard. Right now my main goal is to set up foundations, things that could potentially turn into income streams in the future, even if right now they're just a bit of a drain on my resources. Of course, the long-term goal is for me to make a living of this, and I hope that happens this time soon. In fact, touch wood, this time next year I want to be self-employed. But if there's one lesson I've learned throughout this whole process, it's that burnout is a real problem. I'm not going to lie, right now, or at least for the last few months, this has been my full-time job, which has been amazing and fun and brilliant, and I can't tell you guys how much I enjoy it, and I find it a bit sad that I've had to go and get a job to support what I hope to be my job at some point, but it's just simply I've made some bad financial decisions, and so I need to go get some work. My original actual job I lost during COVID back in July-ish, and because I've only just found another one now, I've been focusing solely on things like the YouTube channel, the Instagram page, which yes, I know it's not great right now, I'm working on that, making my products, designing my fabric, just coming up with all these ideas and plans that I really want to put into becoming something. However, having to dictate my own hours and workday has proved very challenging. I will stay up to the wee hours of the morning sewing, modeling, printing, painting, whatever you like, and then sleep all the next day and do absolutely nothing. In fact, I'll do this several days in a row, and eventually I'll find myself, I just kind of die one day and that's it for about a week. So I've been trying out this thing where I make myself spend an hour a day on the PlayStation as a relaxing thing. However, this has its downsides too. Because I don't have to be anywhere, because I don't need to do anything, if I get really into the game, that's it for the day. I just play the game. I forget about everything else because, oh, you know, it doesn't have to happen today. Afterwards, I get really angry at myself and I feel disappointed, like I haven't done anything, and I don't really think that's a healthy way to live and work. So over the next month, along with getting an actual job, I think I'm going to have to make a few changes to my working days on my days off from my actual job. Also, it's worth saying that editing the CosTube videos is a whole nother skill set, and one that I highly underestimated. Comparing my first videos to my latest ones, I feel like there has been a lot of improvement. To be honest, I'm quite proud of it. My filming has gotten better, my editing has definitely improved slowly but surely, but is it anywhere close to the kind of quality of content I want to be putting out there? No, but practice makes perfect, and if I'm not there yet, then that's okay too. I feel like I'm saying that's okay a lot in these videos, but it is, it's okay. Starting a small business takes time. It's hard, it's stressful, it will bring tears to your eyes on occasions. I have accidentally spent my savings way quicker than I thought in the last few months, and most of that is not because of investment in the business, it's because of investment into, well, living. Things like rent and bills and having a phone, something that I resisted for nearly 3 months after I lost my last job and no longer needed it. They all cost money, and unfortunately sometimes that means your money drains away quicker than you were hoping. Really, I feel like this whole thing is a bit of a balancing act. There are things I want to do, courses I would like to go on, adventures I would like to have, and investments that I would like to make. But considering how much I'm putting into the business right now and how little I'm getting out of it, I just can't do any of those. It's just not possible right now. So the plan, to get an actual job. If life goes the correct way, I should have my first day tomorrow. Touch wood. Go to work, run the business on the side for a little while, and that's just going to have to be life. I want to get a whole range of 3D designs made and be able to promote them properly to people, and hopefully get that as an actual rolling thing where I get an order nearly every day. Again, by this time next year, I really want to be self-employed. I also feel like I underestimated severely how long this video was going to be, so I'm just going to cut it and run now, and we might have another check-in next month if you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember to subscribe if you want to see more of my cosplay business journey. Plus, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop us a like, and don't forget to check out my Etsy shop for various miniature castles and little cosplay accessories. In fact, I'll give you guys a preview of one of my new products, which may or may not be out when this video releases. The 3 new products I am hoping to release in the next month: Hand of the King pin, the castle from Beauty and the Beast, no, my castle, and my favourite one is Bruni from Frozen 2. This one has to be my favourite. He's just the... what is it? Do you want Bruni? Ow. What do you think of him, Sherlock? So yes, Bruni is my absolute favourite. That's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us throughout this video, and have a beautiful day. Bye!